What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Couple Things Interviews.
With Shawn and Andrew.
Today, we have Hunter and Devin Cordle.
I remember when you first showed me a video from Hunter and Devin, and you were just giggly because they're this funny Southern couple, adorable, and it's really wholesome content.
It really is. We recently just ran into them at Disney World.
We saw them twice in the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's been delightful.
They were absolutely incredible to talk to. I love how open and honest they are about everything, just kind of where they are in life, their emotional struggles going up and down with like their jobs and their careers and their identity and their faith and postpartum depression, and just they're truly influencers that are living kind of with open books. And I think because of that, they're so relatable and so many people follow them and they're taking off.
Yeah, it's not a train wreck open book though.
No.
You know, they're very grounded. They have like strong values, good community.
Very.
So they like share things responsibly, I would say, which is great. You know, we talk postpartum depression, we talk anxiety, we talk diabetes, we talk about Hunter and his search for what does he want to do and what does he want out of life. And I really enjoyed this conversation. If you don't know Hunter and Devin, we will link their information down below. I think you'll like them a lot. If you enjoy watching our content, I would say there's a high likelihood you'll enjoy watching theirs. They're probably fun. They are funnier than we are.
They are. Yes.
But anyway, thank you, Hunter and Devin, for coming into the studio. We loved getting to meet you, and we hope that there's a friendship in the future. So anyway, enjoy this one with Hunter and Devin Cordle. Yeah. All right, Hunter and Devin, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for driving in.
Flying.
Flew in.
Flying in. Oh, you said it was a drive.
No,
so I was
it's
like,
a short drive, but we had Ivy, and so we're like, it's an hour flight. So
I was thinking about that. I was like, that feels like a decent drive with a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we
it's like
didn't
6
bring
hours.
the little one, but then we still ended up flying anyway. So
Yeah.
Wait, did you meet Ivy yet?
I haven't.
Oh my
She's
gosh, you're missing out.
I know.
she's
4.
got ice cream downstairs.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
She helped herself.
Yeah.
You just offered ice cream?
I did not. Well, I'll take responsibility for how
She,
it went
like,
down because
looked
I
at me,
should have
she's like-
stepped in. Yeah.
Asking for permission. I'm like, that's fine. Honey.
It is currently 11 o'clock.
Andrew,
so-
we literally experienced this together. We were going through a Chick-fil-A drive-through, and we like rolled down the windows, and our kids are in the back. And the drive-through guy was like, "Do you want the ice cream? The free ice cream?" And we're like, "Could you say it any louder?"
Yeah.
You literally did this to
Kids will
me.
lose
That
it.
is
Yeah,
funny.
I did.
Yeah.
It's great. She's been so great. She deserves it.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a hidden agenda for today's
Oh, wow.
episode.
Oh.
Okay. So y'all have known each other forever.
Forever.
When did you
Yes.
first meet?
Since we were kids. I was 13 and you were 14. 2012.
Dang.
So
Well, and
13
then
years.
your grandma
Mhm.
delivered you.
Yes.
Yes.
So like your families knew each other?
No.
No, it was just a
Oh,
coincidence.
wow.
Yeah, and we didn't even figure that out until later, like a few years after we dated.
Funny.
And then they were just talking. She was a labor and delivery nurse, and then she was like, "Wait, I delivered you."
So you guys
That's
have
crazy.
both born and raised, grew up in Alabama.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Same town. I'm like, y'all ever see those pictures and it's like of a couple together, but it was like a throwback, and they were in the background, and they're
Yeah.
like I wonder if we're ever in any pictures like that.
I know, yeah, because we did have some mutual friends, and we were like, "Were you there at this party thing?" You know,
Yeah.
we've never figured it out if we actually were, but it would be cool.
It
to
would
see.
be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had a crush on you.
Yeah.
I would have thought you were cute.
My hidden agenda is since you've known each other forever, by the end of this episode, I want you guys to have discovered something about each other you did not previously know.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
babe,
wow.
pressure's on us to ask these questions.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
So
nervous.
nervous now.
Me too. I'm
I
sweating
mean,
a little bit.
okay, so you met when you were 13, 14, been married for how many years?
7.
7.
Yes.
You got married young.
We did.
Yes.
Like engaged right after high school.
Oh
And
wow.
then married the next year.
How do you mind me asking how old you guys are?
How
We're
dare you?
26 and 27.
Okay.
I'm
So
26.
yeah,
I'm 27.
married at 20,
Married at
Mhm.
19.
19.
Engaged at 18.
Yeah.
We were youngins.
Wow.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I mean, we were together for so long. We kind of had this realization moment, and I think we could both say where we were and what we were doing when it kind of happened. We decided when we were juniors in high school, we really want to be together. So we're going to do whatever it takes, because we both had our own plans of what we wanted to do with our lives, and we're like, how can we adjust this to do what we both want to do, but do it together? And so from there on, it was more of like a long term, like I'm going to go to school while you work, and then we swapped, and so we had planned for a long time to get married. So we did it as soon as we could, basically.
Did you find that that decision was an easy one for you guys to make, as far as like sacrificing work and like dreams and like alternating plans for each other?
Yeah, it was. It was like, once we decided that, there was no other option, or we would have been sad.
Right.
Because our other plans were, you were figuring out where you wanted to go to college and stuff. And so he was going to go a few hours away this way, and I was going to go this way. And we're like, well, that sucks. I don't want to do long distance.
Yeah, we didn't want to be apart from each other.
Yeah.
So, of course, our plans ended up changing after we got married, but I think obviously it all worked out for the better anyway. So,
yeah.
This is actually really deep. I really like them so far, Bev. I'm not gonna lie. I
so
like the way they live life. I think this is.
Yeah.
When I look at my friend, I'm 33 now, so ancient compared to you guys.
Yeah, we're old.
Oh no.
Just the thought that I gotta wait for XYZ to pan out, or for me to go on this last trip that'll scratch this like personal itch that I have to feel this or accomplish this in my career. It's like, and then I'll
before
get married.
being ready to get married.
Yeah, and it's like, but they have the desire. I just feel like it's kind of backwards, and you're kind of missing so much of the joy of going on the ride together. My gosh.
Yes, that's what it like. We had so many people that were like, "Oh, don't do it," and so I feel like we beat the odds in some way. Like, it was rare, but all the naysayers were like, "We get to do this stuff together. Like, that's fun." I didn't want to do it by myself, and we've had so much fun.
Yeah,
like, we're just best friends hanging out all the time.
I had a conversation last night with a friend who we were talking about how their relationship had kind of unfolded over the years, and there was a decision they had to make before they got married around college, where they had to choose between like a dream job or the marriage to a certain extent. And it's so interesting, kind of what Andrew was alluding to. So many people are crippled by this idea that if I give up my dream, it must not be the right person. Whereas I feel like people are prioritizing it wrong. Whereas like your dream is actually the rest of your life with your person, rather than it is the job. And I'm curious, it's kind of a loaded question, but like, are there any regrets of like, would you go back and do college differently? Do you think you could have done a long distance college and it still worked? Or was it an easy sacrifice too, because you were looking at a different future?
No, it was so easy for me. And I don't want to speak for you, but I'd say it's pretty easy for you too.
I mean, I think, I don't know. Obviously, I think we could have done long distance, but I want to say that we wouldn't have been able to do it because we would have been like, you know what, this is not what we want. And then we would have ended up coming together. If we started long distance, it wouldn't have lasted long, I don't think.
So you guys get married at 19. How does your life change after that? Because you were right out of high school looking at colleges. What changed as far as like, did you go to college? Did you go into a job? Did you start social media?
Yeah, so I went to our community college and I did like a program, physical therapist assistant there. And were you a firefighter at that point?
No, not yet. I was working.
You were working while I did school. But the perks of getting married young too, when we were broke, I got help with college. Like, so it wasn't like, we look back now, we're like, how did we get married that young financially? I don't know. I mean, God provided the way. Like, I'm telling you, like, I don't understand how, like, worldly, you'd be like, how were we able to? But it was God. And then, so yeah, I did that it was like a 2-year program, graduated, I got a job, then he started firefighting. Yeah. And then
we had plans like for when she finished, I was going to go to school somewhere, and then that ended up changing. So I got hired at the fire department, and then I ended up going to paramedic school while she was working.
But then it was like better. Like we were like, okay, more financially sound. And then COVID happened. And then that is the year I got pregnant during 2020. And I just had this pull like that social media. It's so weird. Like I just was like, I feel like I'm going to do something different, but I didn't know what it was. And I prayed a lot about it because I just felt like that was a year of like finding my purpose. I was going to be a mom. So I was like, what the heck? How do I do that? And then it was just this like desire that was like building up, I guess. And I just felt like it's so weird, but I felt like I was going to be an influence, but I didn't know what an influencer was. I just felt like I had a bigger calling on my life versus like to serve others. And then all this social media transpired and it just kind of like fell in our lap and it was crazy.
Wait, so you felt like you were going to be an influencer, which led you to take an action that was different.
Yes.
It didn't just like Boom, it was right there. So then what happened between that feeling and then where you are now?
So it was like a few months, and I was just like, I prayed a lot on that feeling. I'm like, what is this? Because like I said, I was feeling a lot of lack of purpose during that season, trying to figure out how to be a mom, struggled with postpartum depression. And so it's like a kind of bigger timeline, but the gist of it, all in that time, I just felt like I kept telling him, I'm like, I'm feeling some kind of pull like towards something. I ended up getting a job for social media, doing somebody else's social media for a business. And I was like, you know what? Like, we are called to be the light of the world and just like hopefully be a good influence to people. And so I was like, whatever we do, like do it with your smile on your face. Just do it to not serve yourself, but for others. And take anything you do and be able to do that. And then I worked that job for a month. And then I felt like it was like, no, like that was a baby step. I didn't know what it meant by like do social media. Like I didn't know how that happened, but I just started making videos as like therapy too, because at that point I was just a stay-at-home mom. I was they're so cringy to me. Mom content, like the way if you scroll all the way down, you'll see. But so I did that, and I don't know. I just told it. I feel like it gave me joy because I felt like I was able to make other people smile, and then from there. It was more so me. He was a firefighter. And then one day he just came home and filmed him shaving off his mustache. I was like, oh, that's not my content. Like I post like mom voiceovers, but I was like, oh, we'll post it. And because that was what we normally did. He always filmed me like reactions and stuff.
Scaring her, pranking her, whatever. I would film it. And we never posted it, but we decided to.
So we did. And then it blew up. And then we got 1 million followers. And I was like, what in the world is happening? So from that, I was like, oh, like this is what it means like to be an influence to many and like use that for good, you know?
Spoiler alert, the mustache grew back.
Yeah,
so
it's here.
It is back in full force.
Yeah.
I hope all that made sense. That's a lot. That was like a short gist of like
thank you for
all of it. Yeah.
Social media is amazing in the practice that it gives you to share something, right? And it's like in the very act of filming a video, there's like, no matter how silly or serious a video is, it's like, I have something to say, you know, which I think is important. I think we all have something to say. I think it gets a little hairy when people do it for themselves rather than like what you were saying for the higher calling. It's a gray line sometimes because it's like, well, who's the one with the followers? And then, but I think the ultimate intention does make a big difference. So I love that you took that leap of faith and that you just doubled down on it, because I know the paramedic life is like serious. Going to the fire, becoming a firefighter, and then becoming a paramedic. Walk through that process.
I have a lot of questions about this.
Okay.
He's got lots of stories.
Yeah, I loved it. So the plan, to backtrack a little bit, I was planning to do mechanical engineering, and at Auburn University, you can work for the fire department and they'll pay your tuition. So like you can work, get a salary, they'll pay your tuition. That was my plan, to kind of go back to reiterate we were taking turns working to grow together. So that was my plan, to be able to get the schooling, right? So ended up dropping the engineering, stuck with the fire department in our hometown. So went through that. Yeah, I went through the recruit school, learned all the fire stuff, and then I decided I wanted to go to paramedic school. So I did that. It was like a 1.5-ish process, year and a half.
And you're kind of getting paid, right? But
I'm working full time at the fire
school.
department. Yes, and school.
Wow.
Yep. So it was like, if it was one of my shift days, I would just go to class, and when I got done with class, then I would go to the fire station.
And then to clarify, because we've been learning a lot about the fire department with friends.
Okay.
Was yours a paid fire department or volunteer?
Yeah, paid.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
I just think every firefighter should be paid a very good salary. How long after paramedic school were you a paramedic?
I was, like, before I quit the fire department, I was a paramedic for almost 2 years, I think.
So like a firefighter for like almost 5.
Yeah, firefighter almost 5, and then a paramedic for I think 2 years. I think it was 2 years.
And then did you quit before your first baby?
No,
you had a first baby.
we had Ivy, and yeah, she was born in 2021, and I quit October 8th of 2022 was my last shift.
We have learned and seen firsthand with friends, the firefighting world is something that a lot of people don't quite understand the magnitude of until you're in it. How did you deal with the weight of being a first responder and then becoming a father and a husband? And like, dealing with that? Did you compartmentalize it? How are you able to come home and get rid of everything that you had seen that day?
If I could add nuance, because we just went to this event where a firefighter was talking about they have PTSD from some of the stuff they saw. If you could just describe when a firefighter is called, like, so what situations are you walking into, and then you could dive into some details.
I'll preface it by saying, like, when you sign up for the job, you know what you're getting into, right? So I was like fully prepared for everything. You just kind of learn, like, I mean, that's your job and you got to do your job to the best of your ability, right? It wasn't very difficult for me, I would say, because like I would kind of leave it all at work, and like we talk about it as a crew, and comedic relief is a big thing in the fire department. So we would laugh about whatever. Not in a bad way, but we would make jokes about whatever the terrible situation was. I know that sounds awful, but in the best way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, I would come home and like it was just relieving to be able to come home to her and Ivy when she was little, and so it was.
I feel like you were good at compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
I thought I wouldn't. I'm not, and so I would always check on him, be like, "Are you okay?" Like he would tell me whatever he saw, like a dead body. I'm like, does that not affect you? And he's like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, you just get used to
Or like
because
delivering
when you're
babies. Like, how are you okay?
Yeah, because when you're like, you have a probationary process. So for most fire departments, I believe it's like your first year on the job. Like after you get out of the recruit school, you have a probationary process for, I think it's usually like 6 months or a year. Ours was a year. So in that time, like you don't really have any say in anything. You don't really, you're kind of you're the go-to guy for whatever needs to be done. So in that first year, you pretty much learn how it's going to be the rest of your career. Obviously, I didn't do a full career, but you just kind of learn, I guess, to compartmentalize. Yeah.
And then to clarify for people listening who might not know, so like any type of call whatsoever, you guys are the first ones to show up.
Pretty much, yes.
So any medical event, any accident.
Yes. Fire, whole 9 yards.
All of it.
Yes. Fire department is like a go-to. Like I went to a call one time because the sink was broken and she couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So they call 911. Oh, who do we send? Fire department.
It's me.
Yeah.
I used to be confused whenever I would see like a medical call or whatever. I'm like, why is a fire truck there? Because you think fire truck fire only,
Right.
but he was at everything.
Yep,
like
everything.
There was shootings and it was like a murder scene. They were there. Like wild.
Strokes, heart attacks, fires, car wrecks, hazmat. Whole 9 yards.
Oh my God.
Diffusing bombs.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing.
That's the one thing where you call someone else. Yeah. The only thing.
You delivered babies?
Yes, I have.
How many?
I was a part of 2.
Wow.
Did you deliver your own babies?
Yes, Brewer. I did pretty much, right?
Did you?
Okay.
Wait,
I was out of it.
Well, it was
I was out of
like
it.
so, not completely. Like I wasn't like in the
Yeah.
thing, like you know, like the doctor. But Ivy, no, I didn't really. I cut the cord up, but
Yeah.
Wait, did you catch Brewer?
I think
You
did I
think?
not?
You think?
Both of her
It's all a blur.
deliveries. Both of her deliveries were like, oh wait, it's happening, and so it was kind of last minute.
I don't
think I was.
you caught him.
I was supposed to
You were
with the other
supposed to.
doctor.
Yes. He was going to let you deliver.
Right. That's right.
what it was.
Yeah. And then we were waiting on her actual doctor. He didn't make, so it was like a whole scenario.
Yeah.
Like
Always
it's just
is.
a blur.
Yeah.
You know? I wish I could have, but
You wanted to deliver your own kids? I don't know if that
No.
would have been cool. Like,
yeah.
why would you want to do that?
We also had such different experiences though. Like
Sure, we
were in operating rooms. So it was very
Right.
different.
Yeah.
What would make you want to deliver your own kid? Because to me,
I mean, having a medical background, I guess,
Yeah.
it's
that's
just
true.
like that would be cool to like, you know, just to say that I did it, I guess.
yeah.
We have a friend and he's also a firefighter and he delivered their baby over the toilet at home.
Over the
Yeah.
toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How does that
Yeah.
even work?
I don't know. It was an accident.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I feel like that was kind of us. Like we were just in the hospital and it's like, oh wait, it's
Yeah.
happening.
I would have been prepared if I had to at home. I'm like, well, he's here. He can do it.
Yeah.
It's not as hard as you would think. I mean, unless something goes wrong,
Right.
Yes.
you know, which is very likely, I guess. But otherwise,
Which
if
is
everything
very
goes,
Which is highly likely.
if everything goes like it's supposed to, it's really not a difficult process. Like, yes, it is hard on you, but you know, delivering the baby itself is not that hard.
Yeah.
Is it true that you could just drop kids off at fire stations?
Yes, that is true.
Did you ever have that experience?
I did not.
Okay.
After I left, they got like baby drop boxes installed in all the fire stations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they ever get one?
No,
Maybe?
I don't think so.
I love hearing the story of how you guys got here. I'm curious how fame has treated you and what side effects it's come with.
Oh, good
That is,
question. Yeah.
interesting question.
Where do you go?
I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't love it, but I want to say, like, I've always been a private person. Like, even some of the guys at the fire department that I worked with that I didn't, like, just really love, like, I didn't even want them to know where we lived. And now everybody, not everybody, but now everywhere we go, like, somebody knows who we are, and a lot of people know where we live, like, in our town. So it's just, for me, it's the privacy, like, especially now, like, kids are growing up, and that's the big thing for me. That's tough.
Because y'all are in
Yeah.
a small town too, so it's like
Mhm.
you
Yes.
probably go out and it's a little disruptive, right?
I feel like it's not that bad. Like, it depends on the day. Like, if I'm having a bad day, they don't know what day they're catching you on, you know? So
Right.
they want to meet the person they know from social media. So I always try to still, like, have a smile on my face and stuff. But, like, there are some days where I won't go in. I'll send him in because I'm like, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings because because of my mood or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say, like, the fame for me, it's still such a Twilight thing.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like, I feel like it's an out of body experience every time it happens. People come up to us and they're like, oh my gosh, I love you. And I'm just like, or like, you know, they're like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to be. I'm like, no, it's literally fine. Like, I feel like we're friends, you know?
Yeah.
That, like, I might not know you, but I don't know. It's always such an out of body experience every time it
Yeah.
happens. And even my friends, when they're with me, I ask them, I'm like, is this weird to y'all? And they're like, I'm used to it. But it is so weird. You go from being just, you blend in, and then people, like, I forget sometimes, and then people will recognize us in a crowd of people. I'm like, weird. Whoa. You know? But I love it. Like, I do love it. I love being able to meet people and have I think it's really cool that we can have an impact on people like that. Negative side effects, like, depends on the day, like hate comments, that kind of thing. I don't really read stuff anymore, but all of that can, like, affect me mentally and sends me in a spiral sometimes.
Yeah.
More so, I feel like having kids, like, don't say anything about my kids or me as a mom. Like, people telling me if I'm a bad mom, I'm like, you don't know me
Yeah.
like that, you know?
Just come to terms with the fact that you can't please everybody all the time. You can please some people sometimes, but, like, hey, it's a bad day or whatever happened. Like, maybe you didn't give them all that they wanted from you, whatever that means. But then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Not even Jesus could please everybody all the time. That guy caught some slack
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, like, treat people with respect, but also you have a family to take care of. It's like it's a hard line to walk. But
How do you guys navigate the social media world where your fame and your success is based off of your family? Like, you share your marriage, you share your kids. How do you navigate that? And where are your boundaries and strategy, and, like, what you do share and what's too much, and what's your line and what's your process?
you share your mustache.
Obviously, there's parts of our relationship that people don't see. We try to share, like, the good, because, like, I feel like some things are just meant to be private, you know? Like, we want to promote just our, like, a healthy relationship. Like, in the beginning, we would, like, film them more and stuff, but I never want to make our content about them. They'll be, like, in it, but I feel like the longer we've done this and the more that I see how crazy the world is, it makes me, like, more protective. And I don't want how easy it is for people to paint a narrative about us just based on one video. That makes me nervous for them to do that about our kids. So I feel like that's a boundary we have. We try to film, like, even us stuff, like, kind of without them there, you know, not them, like, seeing us always, just, like, filming. And then, what would you say, B?
Yeah, I would say that too. That's, like, our boundary, and kind of what I was saying about the privacy. It's like, we do show our kids, like, because there's some people who, like, block their kids' faces, and we don't do that. But we try to not make the content about them. We try for it to be like Hunter and Devin, but we have kids, so we don't, you know, we want people to know that we have kids, but like she said, we don't want people to paint a narrative about them like they do us.
I feel passionate about this. I'm not saying I do it right. I share a lot of your thought processes, but it's like, the internet has done this weird thing in exposing all these like psychological blind spots. And so it's like, hey, you got all the promiscuous stuff, or you have all like the gambling that you can just go crazy with, or like the enraging, inflaming type of stuff, which are all blind, like it's going to work every time. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. But also on the positive side of things, the family is just like this. It will always be cute to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And there's value to that. So like you have to steward it well and think about it. But it's like, I think you're contributing to the positive side of the spectrum, if anything.
Yeah.
And you guys do a great job with that. So.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a very similar mindset of like, it's about us and we have kids.
Yeah.
And you'll see our kids like because they're there
Right.
and that's our family, but it's never about our children. It's not about, it's not showing their life. It's showing their parents' life.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Like exploiting your children out, that like it's all over the internet. And so I'm like, am I exploiting my kid? Like,
I know.
just because like she's in the background
I
or
know.
whatever, or she'll be in the background like, you're exploiting your child. I'm like, how? I'm not. But it's like, I get it because there is such a dangerous side of the internet. And so I feel like for us, like because we went back and forth, we're like, do we hide their faces or do not? Because that was like a big thing. And so people that do like totally respect that. That's what they feel like they need to do as parents. And like for us, it's like we didn't want to hide, like blur, because I'm like that. I feel like that's going to make people want to like really see them more. And so in public, they'll try to take a picture of them. And like, so I feel like we have a healthy balance of protecting them, but they're not a secret, you know, feel the same way y'all do about how y'all show your family and stuff.
I'm curious with Ivy getting a little bit older. I don't know how you guys have navigated this. I have found it to be harder the older they get to even include them at all.
Yeah.
Because they're now having friends who understand social media.
Yeah.
And Drew's getting ready to go to kindergarten. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want her classmates watching her on social media and then saying something the next day. And so it's just interesting. It's like the baby phase. It's not a thought.
Yeah.
Because it's just a part of your life. And now they're like little humans. Finding myself thinking about it so much more.
We have those conversations all the time now because she's getting to school level and we feel the same way. Like, I want her to live a normal life.
Yes.
And then her be able to choose if she wants to do social media one day or whatever. But definitely, I feel the same way. I feel like in some ways that could strip her innocence of like of her childhood if she already feels this like, oh, people watch me or looking at me or, you know. Funny, we've been talking about that too.
As a parent, I keep thinking at some point we got to feel like we've got this thing under control.
Right.
And you really don't. With every day that they get older, it just opens up a whole new can of worms where you're like, I thought I figured this out. And now I feel like I'm back at ground zero. Like, or working backwards. I don't know.
Relatable.
It's intricate.
Yes, very much so.
You mentioned postpartum depression. What was that experience like?
Oh, gosh, that feels like forever ago now. And I feel like he went through it with me, like, because, and like talking about firefighting and that compartmentalizing, I feel like he had to in a way. It was weird, like different, because I never experienced anything like it.
Was this after Ivy?
Yes. Brewer, it's been heaven, like, because I haven't experienced that at all. It was almost, we had been together so long, and that just introduced us to a new level of each other. And it was always just us. And then we added a huge responsibility for both of us to the equation. I feel like it was a big combination of all that. But yeah, that was my season of lack of purpose. It was just, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Or am I put out to be a mom? Or I don't know. I was just sad all the time.
How did you navigate it? Seeking professional help, or did you go back to your doctor? How did you know? Did you have the self-realization of like, I think I have postpartum depression?
Yes.
And then how was that for you, being a paramedic, being like within this world? Did you notice it in her? Was there a shift? And then how did you navigate it as husband?
Oh, that's good. So at like the 2-week appointment, when they ask you the questionnaire, I don't remember. Do you remember having the answer? Before I had her, I feel like, because that's when I got diagnosed with diabetes during pregnancy. And so I felt like I was kind of already getting a little depressed. But it was a feeling I never experienced. So I was like, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it'll, after the baby comes, I'll be happy because I'll have a baby in my arms. Before I had her, I remember somebody telling me, like, be honest with yourself. I feel like the internet has been positive in that way of going ahead and, like, get help if you need it. And so all that was already embedded in me. And so, thankfully, and so at the questionnaire, I answered the questions honestly because I was scared. I'm like, are they going to take her away from me if they think that I'm not equipped because I feel depressed? But I remember somebody saying, like, they're not going to do that. Like, just answer it honestly. And so I did. And then they called me literally the next day and they're like, Devin, sweetie, are you depressed? And I had never put, like, claimed depression or ever said I'm depressed. And so when she said that to me so gently and asked me, like, are you depressed? It, like, broke something in me. And I'm like, wait, I think I am. So I went to the doctor and I was on medication for a little bit. And that really helped because I was always so against medication. I was just like, no, like, God's got this. I got to get all my anxiety. But I just felt like such a peace about taking it. And so I was medicated. And then obviously I talked to family and friends. That was really helpful too.
Was it your OB or your pediatrician?
It was the OB.
Okay.
And then they made me feel so, like, normal. They're like, it's fine. It's okay to take this. It was almost, I felt guilty for feeling that way after having a baby. Like, shouldn't I be the happiest I've ever been? But I was so sad. Like, I loved her. And then that added more guilt because I'm like, wait, she deserves a happy mom. And I can't be that. And so I'm glad it's becoming more normalized to talk about it. Because I feel like back in the day, it was like always hush hush.
Oh, yeah.
And so I feel like we're all in the generation of good to talk about it. It makes people feel less crazy.
It really is it's nuts how you can just start stacking these narratives that aren't true, though, where you're like, I should love this. Why aren't I happy? I just had this baby. I'm supposed to feel a certain way. And then, wait, if I do fill out this questionnaire, they might take the baby away. And then you're like, holy smokes, you're down this, like, rabbit hole. It's hard to navigate, though, because like you hear stories of kids getting separated from their parents. And it's so easy to choose the worst case scenario when you're in that state.
I'll say that, like, I don't want to say that I never believed in it, but I think anxiety and depression was always kind of a choice. I was never around anybody, at least that I'm aware of, that had those issues when I was growing up. So I was like, oh, it's all right. Like, you can just be happy. You know, it took her going through that and us going through it together for me to realize, like, oh, this is actually, like, an actual problem. You know, like, she can't help the way that she feels.
Wait, say more about what led you to have that realization.
I think I could just see it, like, us being together for so long, and she has always been a happy person. Obviously, I mean, everybody see, or, you know, most people see, like, how she is, and that's pretty much how she is all the time. Just happy, and, like, I've always loved her personality, right? That's why we're together. But I could tell that she couldn't help the way she was feeling, and that's pretty much the gist of it. It was a big realization for me, and then even with my job at the time, being a paramedic, you know, I'd go and people would say they were depressed or anxiety or whatever, and it changed my attitude towards those patients that we would go to. It was difficult for us, especially for her, but it was eye-opening for me to learn, I guess.
He was great, though. He helped me a lot. I think making me not feel crazy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he could have easily been like, you're fine, you know?
Right. Which it's funny because, like, that's how I felt in the beginning. I was like, oh, like, this was just the last a couple days and, like, she'll be fine. And then it just kept on and kept on. And then the questionnaire. And then I'm like, oh, dang. Like, if she's actually circling, yes, I feel this way, this is legit, you know? Because if somebody gave me this piece of paper, no matter how I feel in the moment, I'm going to put no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, for her to circle yes, I'm like, this is legit.
Were you with her when she did that?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And I remember looking at him like, is this okay? Like, and I'm pretty sure I asked him the question, like, are they going to take her away? Like, or whatever. And so for him to acknowledge, like, that it was okay for me to be honest and not feel crazy, he was very gentle with me, and that helped me heal a lot, I feel like. And then and then I remember somebody telling me about, you're just a new version of yourself. Like, it doesn't, and that helped me. Like, something healed in me, because I kept being like, why do I not feel like myself or feel normal or like the old me before her? And I'm like, because I'm not. I'm a new me, and that's like the best version of me. And so it's almost like I needed to introduce myself to the new version of me. And that, I don't know, something like, I guess, like, picturing that made me be like, okay, so I'm new again. And, like, this is Devin, meet the new Devin, like, and let's go.
That's really well said.
Thank you.
I'll never forget, I went through this with our third.
Okay.
Not the first or second, but the third. And it was the first time I had experienced it, and I was like, this is new. and like
And
the
that's-
feelings.
Typically, it's always like early on, so I bet that was like shocking.
It was very
Okay.
shocking. By the time our third came around, our hospital, they made new moms and dads very aware of the potential risks of like postpartum depression, of like things to look out for and certain verbiage. If you start hearing new moms start saying certain things or act a certain way, they would like prep the dad always. I remember when we came home with our first and our second and our third, you had this like protocol
Yeah.
and we would do it. And he'd be like, you are only allowed to watch comedies. You have to sit outside for like 30 minutes a day. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to eat
I
healthy
love
food.
that.
Or like, it was all these things. And I used to think it was crazy until the third.
Okay.
And then I was like, wow. And I just remember with the third, you would like take a chair and go sit it outside. And you're like, you're coming outside with me.
And it was
Wait,
tense
that's
too.
so
It was
And
not
it
like a
was.
fun, sweet
Yeah.
thing. It was
No,
like I was
right.
fighting you to get out
To
there.
do
But
it.
I was in
Yeah.
a very dark place with the third. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. And I would just like mindlessly follow, trying to think
Yeah.
like it would help. It took a while. It took
Yeah.
a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
It is hard. And having gone through it twice
Mhm.
and been fine.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
But then the
that's interesting.
third,
What
it
do you
was
feel like? Sorry, I know you are
Yeah.
interviewing us, but I'm so
Yeah.
curious just because, like, so I went through that with Ivy, and then with Brewer, I was so scared. I was like,
Yes.
hey, I'm in a new place. Like, it'll be a new headspace. I was kind of prepared.
Mhm.
And then I would wait, and I'm like, wait, I feel good. And it's been great. And so I'm like, well, maybe, like, it wouldn't happen again. And so how did that?
I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
interesting hearing you say you thought anxiety and depression was a choice, because having gone through two
Mm-hmm.
and doing like this protocol that Andrew had come up with and like taking care of like my diet and whatever it was, I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, I've like beat this.
You've
Mhm.
solved
I solved the
yes,
issue. Like
yeah.
as long as you like take care of yourself, whatever. And then when our third came around and it just kind of happened,
Mm.
it was the first time I was like, there has to be something
Yeah.
involved as far as like chemical or
Chemicals,
like,
yeah.
because it was different. I felt different and I couldn't change it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was. And for us, it was just time. I wasn't the brave enough one to circle the questionnaire right. Our questionnaires are at our pediatrician, which I think is interesting.
It was at the pediatrician.
Okay,
at
great.
The 2 week, but
Yep.
the OB, I guess they faxed it to
Yes.
the OB, and the OB
And the
called
OB
me.
calls.
Mhm.
So like I remember walking into the pediatrician and reading it and doing the same thing. I'm like, there's no way
No
I am
way.
ever circling. I'm good. But I do think there was a point where my pediatrician even looked at me and he was like, how are you doing?
Mhm.
And it took every ounce of soul in my body not to just melt onto the
Because
floor.
it would like pop a bubble.
I know.
when
And I was
people
like,
say, "Are
I'm
you?"
not good, you know?
Yeah.
And he could tell we'd talk through some stuff, but it's hard. There is something that is just,
Yeah, it's hard.
you don't know how to explain it either.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Feeling great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. How long did it take, like, for you to get better?
4 months was probably the low, like
Mhm.
where it had kind of peaked at the low. Does that make sense? And then we built up from there, which we
Okay.
did like a 16-week program. So
Yeah.
it took a while
Yeah.
to feel like myself. How about for you?
I can't even remember. Like, I think I was on the medication for 2 years.
Yeah.
But through that, I was scared to get off of it because I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
so scared to feel that way again. It took a while for me to talk myself out of it or like to get off of it because I'm like, I want to know if I'm better. I want to be
Mhm.
better. And so I didn't want to rely on that. So I would say 2 years, but 2 years on like getting the help.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I felt better way before
Good.
that. Like she was a year old and I felt better.
Yeah.
So, because we had moved in with his mom, and I just felt like we were gonna the whole social media. It all
Mhm.
happened all at the same time. It's just like felt like we were stepping into a new
Hmm.
season, and it was going to be joyful and great. And obviously, there's hardships, but yeah, it was like a new me, new season, all that.
So then fast forward, you guys get pregnant with your second.
Yes.
You have gone through this journey. You've gotten off medication. You're
Mhm.
feeling good about yourself now. What conversations arose getting pregnant with a second? With like, were you both fearful of what would happen? Were you speaking
Yeah.
that to each other, or was that kind of just
Yeah.
being held?
I think we talked about it a lot. I think just like to prepare,
Mhm.
but I think we spoke about it in like a positive way. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be better this time because
Yeah, we did.
XYZ or whatever.
Well, obviously, our life looks completely different
Yeah.
with this one than it did with the first one. That was a big help.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, like she said, talked about it kind of in a positive way. Like, well, if it happens, we know we're going to circle yes on the questionnaire. And, we're going to know, like, not to say that we are going to beat it, but we know at least how to navigate it, and we'll be expecting it. Whereas before it was so unexpected, and I think that was why it had such a big impact. Is like how she said, like, "Oh, shouldn't this be the happiest time?" And see, with the second one, we were expecting it, and it didn't happen, thankfully. But
I will say he was scared of it. Like whenever we would talk about it, I found myself, I was comforting him, be like, it's okay if it happens, like whatever. But because he took such a toll, like that, he carried a lot of that weight, like as a spouse, like, and I'm sure you can relate, like when seeing your person down like that, and there's nothing really you can do. And so I think he was so like worried more so. And then he was pleasantly surprised whenever I was better.
I think I'm like how they say, like the male is like the fixer. You know, there's like a problem. Well, we're just gonna fix. That's 100% me. So I'm like, when something's going on that I can't, not to say I could fix everything, obviously, but when something's going on that I really can't do anything about, I'm like, this is rough.
Have you ever been through anything like that?
A little bit, not on that level, but like I will say that I have struggled with kind of like what she talked about, her lack of purpose, like before social media. So I struggled with that a little bit. So similar, but not really the depression.
When did that struggle for purpose happen?
Recently.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. He really hasn't shared about it. So this is, it's
a hot take, I guess you could say. But I mean, now I don't feel like social media it kind of started out as her thing, and then I kind of slowly made my entrance into it. Well, then the mustache thing. So now it's an us thing. So fast forward, it got to the point to where it's either going to go back to a her thing or it's going to be an us thing. And so that was the decision for me, or for us, I should say. So obviously I left the fire department. It's going to be an us thing, but I don't feel like I feel like I'm saying thing a lot, but
No,
I don't know if it's my thing, you know? Long term, I enjoy making the videos that we make and stuff like that. But as far as like me personally, I don't really think that social media or being an influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it, is my calling. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out what that is.
we had an interview yesterday. All I can think of is the treadmill. Our guest, he said he tried so many things to find his thing. I'll say the thing now.
Yeah.
And the only way he could describe it was everything that he tried that wasn't his thing. Felt like he was running on a treadmill that was going the wrong direction. Like he was running forward, but the treadmill was running the opposite. And then all of a sudden he ended up trying comedy. And he said it was the first time he felt like he was sprinting on a treadmill that was going the same direction. And he was flying.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that analogy. That's great.
I can't own that. That was 1,000% him.
Yeah. That's what I tell him. I'm like, if you want to like be off of it, you want to go get like a 8 to 5, go back to the fire department, whatever, there it is, to like, I'll support that. Like just like he supported me in wanting to doing social media. And so I think he's just in that trying to figure it out, like what's next for like Hunter, you know, and whether that be us together or obviously we're together, but you know, what I mean? And
the brand.
Yes, but it does make me sad, like seeing him feel lack of purpose in that, because I tell him, I'm like, I'm not Devin without Hunter. Like you know, he might see that as a my thing, but I'm like, no, it really is an us thing. But I get that. I get his, because I felt that way. I felt like I was trying to figure out my purpose. And so I'm really praying and hoping that he like feels that like fulfillment soon of whatever is next for him, whether it's contentment in what we're doing now or there's something new. He loves dirt bikes. So I'm like, maybe you go do something with dirt bikes. Like, I don't know.
We're going to have to pick your brain. We need to learn all the dirt bike stuff.
Okay.
I saw that you started riding when you were 3.
Yes. My dad put me on a dirt bike the day I turned a month old. And,
Classic dad.
Yep.
I tried to do that with
Brewer. She wouldn't let me. I'm like, I'm trying to start a tradition.
Our 3-year-old rides dirt bikes.
Okay.
That's
way.
all he
Oh my
wants to
gosh.
do.
I'll show you
That is so
videos,
fun.
dude.
Yeah.
And we don't know
Definitely.
anything about
Please
this
do.
world.
Fun.
Yeah.
So I got my first dirt bike for my 3rd birthday. Yes. And then I did take a little break from riding when I was in high school. I kind of got into other traditional sports. But yeah, I've always loved it still and back in it, thankfully. That's my love for sure. So
Would you
gotta
ever go
get
back to the fire department?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I did love it when I was there. I think that's one reason why I do struggle a little bit now is because I feel like I was good at my job. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't give you fulfillment at a fire department, but there is stuff that did. Having a job, doing a job, and you're done with it kind of thing, moving on. I liked that, but I don't think I would ever go back unless I had to. I still have my paramedic's license. So if we were going hungry, then for sure. But
it's got to be nice having a paramedic license as a father. It'd be so nice to have just that general
as
knowledge.
A dirt bike father.
It makes me feel good.
As a dirt bike father.
I'm like,
one of the
wait, is
kids
he
falls.
choking?
She's like,
Here.
He's like,
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
There's money and fame in entertainment, though, Hunter. What's not to like?
I know. Yeah. See, I'm not the fame guy.
I asked, obviously kidding, but is that you were about to clarify?
No, I actually
means
loved
well.
his answer. I love your answer because the amount of people you guys probably get the same comments of like, oh, if only I had your life. If only I had the following or the influence or whatever it is, the money, the whatever, then what better thing in the entire world?
Right.
Yeah.
And we literally just talked about this. We just did a podcast on it, on what is the definition of success. And it's like, I think it's finding purpose and fulfillment in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And that can be money and fame for some people. And that can be the complete opposite for others. But like, it's different for every single person. So I secretly loved that you said that because it just goes to show that it's not all about influence and
Right. Well, we don't really talk about it much because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think that we have like a perfect life. Like I said, I don't want people to think that I'm complaining about the things that we have because just as an example, if it weren't for social media, I probably wouldn't be able to ride dirt bikes as an adult, right? When I was at the fire department, that probably would have never been an option. So I'm very thankful, for the, but like you said, I don't know that I found like my success in it. Yeah, what you said was good too. So,
because I will say, whenever we were going back to when we first got married, and we were broke, like I don't even know how we survived on what we did, like the getting groceries and stuff. We were so happy. I mean, we're still so happy, but we still had so much joy in having like nothing, and we just had each other. And I'm like, that is like money does not buy happiness. It can buy you fun things, like but it's like the true joy that you feel in life and like the fulfillment doesn't come from worldly things and material things. Like I just
Do you love the social media world?
I do like it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I love my job, like in doing it. And there's days where I do just want to like turn it off because it can be so loud. But I do enjoy it because I feel like I'm on the treadmill in the right direction. Because that is that purpose and calling I felt 3 years ago in that searching for my purpose. And it was this. It looks a lot different than I thought it would in some ways. I didn't know what influencing meant. But it is like, I feel like I'm just going with the flow of like changing, like we're starting a podcast and doing things that just, I feel like bring joy and conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
So I like it. Yeah. Like I don't see me doing anything different.
Yeah.
I could see it's definitely not for everybody, but TikTok's like, it's done this weird thing where a lot of people have kind of been presented with this lifestyle, and it's like, I don't actually know if I wanted this or not. Like the acting business, you had to go to school or whatever, and then you had to work your way up the thing. TikTok was like, bam, right in your face, and you're not prepared for it, and you're like, it's crazy.
Like
so
you can get 1 million followers, like, as, like just from a viral video, like, wild how it happens.
I am excited for you though, bro. I don't know, it's like you're walking through the wilderness right now, but
yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And you're freaking in the prime time of your life right now. 2 young kids, so whatever you do, it's gonna be phenomenal.
And talk about such like a phenomenal example to your children to say like, I reached, worldly success, what people would define as that. And I didn't feel fulfilled. So I went and found it. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. That
such
is really
a
cool.
phenomenal example for your kids to grow up and get to see.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's what I tell them. I'm so excited for that. Like how you said, like you're excited for it because it's gonna be good when you find it.
We still need mustache videos every once in a while.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Gotta keep those up.
Is this a football tattoo on your ring?
Football?
Yeah.
No, it's a skull actually.
Oh, sorry, guys.
It means till death.
Till death do
I
us
like
part.
that.
I
That's
like
hardcore,
that.
dude. That's
Yeah.
freaking hardcore right there.
Andrew, when are you gonna get your skull tattoo on your finger?
Man, I'm not that hardcore.
I've been
I
trying to
love
convince
you,
him to
babe,
get
but, like,
Do
tattoos.
you
Yeah.
not have any?
no.
Okay.
Do you?
I have one tiny
Skull?
one on my
Yeah.
ankle. It's a little, yeah, it's a skull.
Okay.
It's a heart. Do you have any?
Yeah, I have a whole sleeve.
Oh,
No, I have.
I missed that.
No, I have many, but they're very small.
Small. See, I like the little tiny sticker
Yeah.
ones too.
I think
That's
I have
what-
like 8.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, you would rock a sleeve though. I just had that thought.
Think-
You would
yeah,
really
you totally
rock it.
would.
Yeah.
Sure.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't out of the box. But like he was like, let's go get matching tattoos while we're here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got some great tattoo
I
artists.
know. Well, I saw
Here?
the bee.
yeah,
Oh, you're in
I mean,
Nashville?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have all the like
Dang.
little.
yeah. See, I love those.
You can't even see
Yeah,
them.
like dainty.
Dainty.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
a great
I love the
word for
dainty.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told him. I'm like, okay, we can go. I said, but
Yeah.
then I feel like I need to go in and know what other ones I'm getting because I don't
Yeah.
want just like a random one.
Oh, I
Like my-
impulsively went to get one and I got 5. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because it has
Just
to
kept going.
be- Yeah.
Yeah, that's my kind of thing. I'm like, I'll just get them all.
He asked me this
Yeah.
morning. He's like, hey, April 3rd, they got an opening.
Yeah.
Can I go? I'm like, your body's covered. Where are you gonna put it?
Got plenty of space left.
True or false? Do you agree with this statement or not? Marriage is for personal fulfillment. I'm trying to think through this live too, so just work with me.
Okay.
Do you agree with that or not?
No,
False. Yeah, I don't. False.
Interesting.
Why?
I think you have to. It's not about yourself. It's about the other person. Like you have to wake up every day and choose to serve, especially when you have kids.
Well, because there's a part of it that is personal
Well,
fulfillment.
yeah,
like
sure.
when you choose to marry somebody,
Yeah.
because they make you feel
Sure.
good. They make you. But and as like a Christian, like we are believers, and so we feel like that we're supposed to serve the other person. And so in a healthy relationship, if you're both doing that,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
you're both being fulfilled.
Mhm.
Definitely.
You know?
But I don't think like
Yeah.
you go into it with that attitude.
So it is true that a side effect of marriage is personal fulfillment, but that's not the purpose. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
I think
That's a good way to put it.
I agree with it, but that's my main takeaway from how you guys have described your story so far is like I think a wonderful example of like a willingness to sacrifice.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Like it's not I know there's hurdles and hiccups y'all have been through, but it's like it seems to have come from such this amazing place of like just love and connection and like keeping the main thing, which was the relationship. And then it's like, sure, I'll delay school, which
Mhm.
I'm sure that was a big discussion. Sure, I'll leave paramedic school. The way you guys have talked about it is so unique and
Mhm.
very refreshing. So
Oh,
yeah.
I
It's
think
something we
it's-
haven't heard. It's something we believe in, but it's something we have not heard, which is it's really refreshing.
oh, thanks.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
so that's a compliment.
Yeah.
I like a testament to our relationship.
Yeah.
So like people see that, you know.
You'd be surprised how many people we have talked to and been around where it's like, oh, our jobs actually didn't align, so we got a divorce or whatever. There was no
Mhm.
conversation or willingness to say like, oh, I'll delay my job for a few years. It's
Yeah.
like your time, and then it'll switch, and
Mhm.
we'll go through those ebbs and flows and the roller coaster of like. That's such a healthy, beautiful, refreshing insight.
Yeah.
well, it's the way they've talked about it too.
I know.
Because like there's no
Like a given.
hesitation or it's like
Yeah.
it's really unique.
Oh, you're making
Which
me
we
blush.
love.
I know. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Seriously, I'm-
Everyone needs to do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
why is it important for you guys to talk about faith, and why is it important for people to have faith? Let's just solve the world's problems.
The
real quick.
closing
closing.
world problem question.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
come up several
I know.
times.
Yeah, I feel the faith for me, going back to like that season of searching for my purpose.
Mhm.
It was I like God put the steps in motion
Mhm.
for this to even be possible. And I remember like specifically praying one day that he was going to lift me up so I could lift him up.
Mhm.
And so it's not a me thing, but everything I do needs to glorify him. And I'm not perfect. And there's a lot of times where he like has, but hey, this is a little self-serving, Missy, you know, go back to the roots. And so our relationship is on foundation of faith and believing in like my whole life is a testimony of what Jesus has done for me. And so I feel like I can only like repay what he's done for us to share it. And so I feel like, and now I don't feel called to like get on there and preach.
Mhm.
We don't do that. But I mean, if I felt like I was supposed to, but it's more of showing like he will know. I hope, my prayer is that people will know him through me, like by our fruits.
Mhm.
And so just seeing our relationship and how we act and all of that. Because it is people will message me and be like, I can tell something's different.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's our relationship with the Lord, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for me, it's like when a lot of people search for like a constant, you know, for us or for me, it's God is that constant. So like wherever we've been in our life, like when we first got married, how she said, thinking back, like I don't know how we bought groceries and did everything we needed to do. He's the same then as he is for us now and our worldly success that, you know, so that's what it is for me. Obviously we're not perfect. We've made mistakes and everything. And like she said, we don't really feel like we're supposed to get on there and preach, but, yeah, we hope that people.
Like I don't want to shove it down people's throats either, you know.
We hope that people can see his light through us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do feel all that worldly success stuff, it's such a temporary satisfaction feeling. And so I feel like that is what people who don't have a constant, they're just searching for the next thing. And so having that constant, like everything else around us can fall apart, but having that foundation, like we're okay. And that's why we can have true joy because we're not relying on worldly things to give us joy. But him as our constant does.
That's really good. You guys said some great stuff. I'm grateful to have met you in person.
Oh,
And,
likewise. Yes, likewise.
I hope this is the beginning of a friendship. And
for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for what's next. But keep doing your guys' thing because you have made a positive impact no matter how much longer you keep doing it or not, or you want to keep doing it or not. But in your family life, with your kids, with the content that you make, and certainly that carries over to your community, I can only imagine as well. You're starting a podcast.
Oh, so we had one, yes. And we started it over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was pregnant and we took a break. And so, but we're starting it back up. And so it would be more so me and him.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, we'll have to have y'all on.
Okay.
It's called the Salty Podcast.
Salty Podcast.
Salty Podcast.
Yes.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you excited about?
Can't really say much, but we are starting to talk about maybe a brand.
Oh,
TBD
wow.
on other information.
Yeah.
But
That's another hot take.
Dang.
First time.
And the Andar.
Oh,
Is
your
it-
bag is incredible.
Yeah, Shawn-
I'm
Shawn
glad
has
you
this.
love it.
I love it.
Yay!
We fought over it when everyone saw it.
Oh, wait, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Did you bring it today? Is it here?
It's hanging in my closet.
Okay. Because it does look good on you.
It does.
It does. Great
Thank you
job.
so much. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
truly a pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah.
this has been fun.
Yeah.
Like, see, I could
Fun.
just keep
Great
talking.
meeting
to
I
y'all.
know.
Like, I want to hear about y'all now.
I know.
Like, let me swap.
We'll be on your podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can't wait.
Yes.
Learn more about Hunter and Devin in the show notes down below. But thank you guys for your time.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that was so fun.